Hey everyone, John Wertheim here. It is Quick Serve presented by Oslo Sleep Buds. I'm John Wertheim behind Court 14. As you can see by these airbags behind me covering the court, these inflatable tarps, it's been a rainy day, but that's okay. We'll be checking in throughout the event with quick hits, highlight the top moments, upset storylines. We'll track it all the way through. This is Friday. Still a bit of I'm not sure what the word is, not quite a hangover, maybe an afterglow from last night's ceremony, toasting Andy Murray on his career. Always a bit awkward when the person is young and financially secure and relatively healthy. It doesn't sort of quite chime like a funeral, but it was a send-off for Andy Murray. I wish I had Andy Roddick here to dive in. It just still strikes me that this guy who existed at the same time in the shadow of these three great mountains in Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic, still managed to stir such emotions and put together such a legacy. He will be missed. He's still kind of sort of in the tournament and kind of sort of on the schedule for the Olympics, so it's not necessarily a retirement, but that ceremony last night still echoed today. There was, however, a lot of tennis, and it was probably fitting that the day after we toasted Andy Murray, a Brit really stole the show. That was Emma Raducanu, who played center court and was just terrific. Just an outstanding, composed performance, beating Maria Sakkari. And it sort of reminds us of what a strange career it's been for Emma Raducanu, but also how stellar a player she can be when she is on. She, of course, won the U.S. Open as a qualifier. One of the stranger major breakthroughs in recent memory. That was 3 years ago. Since then, it's been a lot of injury and some defeats and some decisions not to play. And then she comes back in these last few weeks and looks like a player capable of winning more majors. And she was completely on it today. Odd bit of symmetry when she won that U.S. Open 3 years ago. Maria Sakkari was the highest ranked player she had to beat, I believe. And she surrendered 5 games. Today, against Maria Sakkari, she surrendered 5 games. So on to week 2 goes Emma Raducanu with really just sort of a composed, business-like, mentally dialed-in performance. Very impressive. Speaking of impressive 21-year-olds, Carlos Alcaraz, the defending champion. He started on center court today, opened up against Frances Tiafoe. Let us go back to the U.S. Open of 2022 when those two played. Two young, ascending electric stars, big personalities. Their match goes 5 sets. Since then, careers have diverged. Frances actually came into this match today, came into Wimbledon with a losing record for the year. As he himself said, he's lost to a lot of clowns. He lost today. It was not to a clown. It was to Carlos Alcaraz, who, of course, since that U.S. Open match, he'd go on to win that tournament, win another major after that. And today was, a lot of ways, had echoes of that match 2 years ago. A lot of fun shot making for, I'd say, the first 3 hours. Frances was the superior player, took a 2-1 lead. Looked like we had a real upset brewing. This would have been really a transcendent moment for Frances Tiafoe, especially given the way his year has gone. If he comes to center court and takes out the defending champion, that is a big, big win, perhaps the biggest of his career. 4th set goes to a tiebreak, and you had a real sense whoever won the tiebreak would win the match. Either Frances would close it out and seal this thing, or Carlos Alcaraz would steal the tiebreak, steal the set, and go on to win the match. And that's exactly what happened. Option 2. Carlos won the tiebreak 7-2, and by then you really sense this deflation. Carlos ran out the 5th set 6-2. So what could have been a very dangerous situation for Carlos Alcaraz ended up being triumphant. As we record this, Spain is winning the Euros, so it turns out to be a very good day for Carlos Alcaraz, but he advances just barely. And again, this is just kind of one of these levels of the game, as John McPhee wrote. This was just one of these moments where you just had a sense that the player who was more put together was going to be able to take the match even on a day when he didn't have his best stuff. So a good effort from Frances Tiafoe, but a lot of disappointment. And Carlos Alcaraz has to be very happy that he ends up surviving. The top player in his half of the draw, Jannik Sinner, is taking court right now against Miomir Kecmanovic. Who wants to be a Miomir? He has never lost to Kecmanovic. Sinner hasn't. Kecmanovic, actually, I just saw this. 136 and 136, a career 500 record. Don't often see that. We expect that he will be sub 500 in a few hours as we are working on the assumption that Jannik Sinner goes through. It's always dangerous to assume in tennis, but we are outlaws. And if somehow Miomir Kecmanovic springs the upset, we'll either do an emergency ad through the magic of editing, or we will do our penance tomorrow. Other matches from today. there were a couple matches where just they simply could have gone either way, and sort of who wants it more. We had Emma Navarro. Good day for the Emmas. Emma Navarro was on court 18 against Diana Shnaider. They played a few weeks ago. Shnaider won that match. They are a doubles team, and they get to 4-all in the third set. And it's again simply who's got it together. And today it was Emma Navarro, who just strikes me as such a pro's pro. She is just starting her career. She is less than 2 years removed from college tennis, and she just is this consummate professional already. She is in great shape. Mentally, she's a tough player. There is no sort of wasted movement in her game, and also no wasted movement in the way she conducts herself. Just all business, and it showed today. 4-all in the third set. She just basically seized the match and won 6-4 in the third. Not dissimilarly, we had Paula Badosa and Daria Kasatkina, friends, two of the more popular players. They too were in just one of these who wants it more battles deep in the third set. This time it was Paula Badosa really, again, just kind of seizing this victory to move on. Other matches, Coco Gauff did not have much problem for the third straight match. She played British wildcard, acquitted herself very well. All credit to her opponent, Kartal, a player outside the top 200. People did not know a lot about her, and they got a real glimpse today of a player who played with some self-belief, whose clear game plan was to just try and redline and hit as hard as she could on every shot. Sometimes she did. Sometimes she did not. She ended up losing 6-4, 6-0 to Coco, but gave a really nice performance. And Coco as well, just sort of could have been tricky playing a British player on center court, just sort of a very veteran, solid clinical performance as Coco moves on. We talked a few days ago about Lulu Sun, the strange mashup of Switzerland and New Zealand. Don't often come across that. She won yet another match. Again, this is a former college player at Texas. Once again, the impact of college tennis is very much expressed on both the men's and women's draws here. Lulu Sun advances again. The rain came, and that will push a lot of the matches back. We're going to have a busy Saturday here. If you're scoring at home, that is 5 straight days where we had rain. Not a total shock given that we are in the UK, but we could use a day of sunshine for the schedule to catch up. We said we were going to do a random note of the day every day. Here's today's. It is absolutely verboten to show the Euros, the European soccer competition, on the big screens and monitors here. So big game for the UK tomorrow. England plays Switzerland in the Euros. Some crazy, 2/3 of the TVs in this country will be tuned to the soccer match. Presumably, the other third will be tuned to tennis. But there are strict rules here on the grounds. You are not to show the Euro. So if you come to Wimbledon expecting to watch soccer on the big screens, you will be disappointed. Otherwise, the schedule for tomorrow just came out. We have Alexander Zverev taking on Cam Norrie on center court. Norrie fresh off that win over young Jack Draper. We have Ons Jabeur against Alina Svitolina. And then Djokovic, after a bit of a scare in the second round, takes on Alexei Popyrin of Australia. They've already played once this year at the Australian Open. Djokovic won that in 4 sets. We'll see if he can get it done. On court 1, we have Ben Shelton, who survived 2 5-setters and was also hit the fastest serve of this tournament. He's playing Denis Shapovalov. Iga Swiatek, the number 1 seed on the women's side, against Putintseva. Rybakina against Wozniacki in an offense-defense matchup. My guy, my new favorite player, Giovanni Pecci Pericard, the 20-year-old 6'8" Frenchman, is in action. So is Yelena Ostapenko. Luca Pouille plays Alex de Minaur. Danielle Collins, producer Mike's favorite player, Taylor Fritz. Big day tomorrow. And a lot of that, again, is owing to this bad weather we are having. But for today, no big upsets. Carlos Alcaraz gets a scare, but survives against Frances Tiafoe. Emma Raducanu sort of steals the show. And hopefully that yellow orb we know as the sun comes out tomorrow. Lulu Sun is the victor. The actual sun was missing in action today. Hopefully that changes tomorrow. I'm John Wertheim. This was Quick Serve presented by Oslo Sleep Buds. Enjoy middle weekend, everyone.